Simply Cyber, COWMUNITY. Here to break the cycle, this is vital more than you and I. Yeah, it's exciting, it don't matter what your title is. You can grab a friend or two or three or four and invite them in. It's the Simply Cyber, bring a good vibe. It's the live with Jerry every morning, having good time. And you know we love to see for you, just gotta go and get it. Yeah, you know we all believe in you, it's time we grow together. It's the Simply Cyber, bring a good vibe. It's the live with Jerry every morning, having good times. And you know we love to see for you, just gotta go and get it. Yeah, you know we all believe in you, it's time we grow together. Dr. Auger is a OG, got that potion, the elixir, got devotion to all those who keep us showing up to witness. Fit the tricks and quips and all the tips to raise your cyber fitness. Switching up the routines, pass it off to James quicker. Keep the people smiling, hit that follow, that's a good decision. Every week, today, tomorrow, I encourage y'all to listen. We gon' teach y'all way more than how to protect yourselves from phishing. More like being confident so you can recognize the vision. On a mission, it's official, we gon' get through all these issues. Time for jaw jacking, baby, this is more than a tradition, yeah. Oh, I can't forget to recognize the mods. They the engine, they the reason that you leave it feeling charged. It's a Simply Cyber, bring a good vibe. It's that live with Jerry every morning, having good times. And you know we love to see for you, just gotta go and get it. Yeah, you know we all believe in you, it's time we grow together. It's a Simply Cyber, bring a good vibe. It's that live with Jerry every morning, having good times. And you know we love to see for you, just gotta go and get it. Yeah, you know we all believe in you, it's time we grow together. Yeah. What else can I say? I hope you find some value in this place and have yourself an awesome day. Simply Cyber's here to stay. So let's all put our hands together ready. Time to hang with Dr. A.
All right, good Monday morning. Let me get this music going here. Good morning, good Monday morning. Jesus criminy. Good Tuesday morning, everybody. Welcome to the party. Today is May 13th, 2025. This is episode 876 of your daily cyber threat brief podcast. I am your host, as always, two thumbs, all smiles, Dr. Gerald Auger. And over the next hour, me, you, Lara, Flora, Zemeth, Mara Levy, Senfilis, Bonnie Charles, Marlon Johnson, Not Only IT, Marcus Kyler, Toasty Pops, and the Kansas City contingent. We are all going to be shredding the top cybersecurity news stories of the day, and I'll be doing everything within my power to absolutely distill the essence of what value you can get from these stories. There is multiple dimensions. There's multiple lessons learned in every story. Even if it's a run-of-the-mill ransomware story, we could talk about tabletop exercises, business continuity, cyber resiliency, data governance. We can take this trip wherever we want. It's like we got an excursion pass on a cruise ship, which I've never been on, but from what I've heard, we've got an excursion pass and we can go into these stories like it's a town of a port city and do whatever experiences we want. And that's my goal for you, is to tap into my experience, my knowledge, my skills, and give it to you in order to be able to make you kick it major butt at work today, tomorrow, this quarter, this year, ultimately delivering cyber risk reduction for all your business stakeholders, while at the same time leveling yourself up to be a ninja level cyber professional so you can dictate the terms of your employment and jump around to your next job. Really quick, I am trying some different music here because I'm going to have to get away from copyrighted music pretty soon, and I'm just not digging this song. This song's getting the boot. There we go. We'll try Neon Renegade. All right, guys. Also, hey, you're like, oh, man, I'm not a practitioner. I'm looking to break in. I guess this isn't for me. I'll just see myself out. Wait a minute, friend. If you're looking to break into the industry, holla, because you're going to be asked in any job interview, how do you stay current? This right here is what we call in the industry a banger of an answer. The Simply Cyber Daily Cyber Threat Brief gives you up-to-date information, current events, threat actor behaviors, all those things. And honestly, if you're going to be effective at delivering cyber risk reduction, you need to know what's going on. It's a very dynamic environment. Threat actors are constantly evolving their techniques. Security products are constantly evolving their features, functionality, deployments. Infrastructures go from on-prem to hybrid, or to on-prem to cloud to hybrid. Identity's the new perimeter. All these things, guys, it's one of the unsung realities of working in cybersecurity is that you need to stay current all the time. And really quick, not to be like a wet blanket or anything or sand in your shorts, Keith Sloan knows what's cracking. Listen, just to be real for a second, because I feel like nobody says this enough in our industry, but if you're working hard to get in the industry, when you get in, like all that working hard did was train you to work hard in industry. I love working in cybersecurity, okay? It's given me a lot. It fills my cups. It gives me great pleasure to talk about it, to think about it, to work it, to educate on it. But dude, when you climb the mountain and you pull yourself up onto the flat part of the rock and you stand up because you got the job, like there's still a mountain in front of you. Like you still got to keep cracking, right? So like, it's a lot of work, but it's totally rewarding. It's totally worth it. Long story short, the Daily Cyber Threat Brief is one cog in the machine of how you stay current. So what it's all about, good times. Now,
Ain't nobody got time
I
for
want
that.
you to know I ain't got time to research or prep for any of these shows, so I'm not doing that. Good morning, AA Witherspoon. I'm bringing you real, authentic reactions and analysis. I don't know what stories are coming up. I only see the headlines briefly as I'm, staging the story. So that's what's up. Now, dude, this music's killing me. Like, we've got to. It's like lo-fi is sucking my will to live. Oh my God, what is this music? Hold on one second. I'm real time addressing this. Oh my God. Okay, we will just not do any of that. All right, hey guys, definitely super excited for you. Before we get into it, let me just give a quick shout out to the stream sponsors, those who enable me to bring all this hot fire to you every single day. Chris Rock. Chris Rock's favorite part of employment in the cyber industry. Yes, he loves working, he loves talking, he loves thinking, he loves delivering great presentations, but he also likes cashing those checks.
Great cash, homie.
All right, y'all. Listen, do want to say shout out and love to the stream sponsor. Start with Antisyphon Training. Antisyphon Training is disrupting the traditional cybersecurity training industry by offering high-quality, cutting-edge education to everyone, regardless of financial position. Now, I want you to know right now is day 2. Hey, good morning, Kimberly Can Fix It. Today is day 2 of 4 days of getting started in security with Black Hills and MITRE ATT&CK and John Strand. John is actually not feeling well. He's on travel. He's in Baltimore. He's working out of a hotel room. He's sick, and he's still showing up and delivering excellence. I attended the first part of this training yesterday. Lot of Simply Cyber community members getting their skills leveled up. If you're in this training, drop your thoughts in chat how it's been. But I'm just telling you, they are making this available. You're not too late. You can still jump on it. They are streaming it on YouTube Live for 4 hours. All the labs are linked and set up. You don't need to build your own infrastructure before you take this class. This is just a great opportunity. Again, John does this course like 2-3 times a year, so you've got to scoop it up when it comes through. And it's $0, yo. It's $0. You can take it for free. John wants you to have this information, so go check it out. Antisyphon Training, do appreciate everything that they're doing. I also want to say shout out and love to Threat Locker. Oh my God, there's so much John Strand coming. Okay, so hold on. We're gonna do a little visual on John Strand. There we go. DJ BSEC making it happen. This is your okay. This is your John Strand moment of zen. Yes. So if you like this kind of attitude with rich experiences and knowledges behind it, come check it out. Antisyphontraining.com. Ask any. There's plenty of people in chat who are in there right now in the class. Roswell UK says it's not free. It's pay it forward. That could be the case, Roswell UK. I definitely want to point out that you can take it for $0 though. So ideally, you'd like to drop $25 just to kind of make yourself, commit to it. But you can take it for $0. All right, really quick, let's hear from Threat Locker, and then I'm going to tell you how this show right here in all of its glory and also all of its warts and bruises can save your CPE problems. Also, it is Tuesday, which means it's Tidbits Tuesday, which means I'm going to share a little bit about myself and see if we vibe. Shout out and spoiler alert, Elliot Matisse and I actually talked about this in San Francisco, and we do vibe on it. I hope you do too. Let's hear from Threat Locker. I'll be chatting in chat. I want to give some love to the Daily Cyber Threat Brief sponsor, ThreatLocker. Do zero-day exploits and supply chain attacks keep you up at night? Well, worry no more. You can harden your security with ThreatLocker. Worldwide, companies like JetBlue trust ThreatLocker to secure their data and keep their business operations flying high. ThreatLocker takes a deny-by-default approach to cybersecurity and provides a full audit of every action allowed or blocked for risk management and compliance. Onboarding and operation is fully supported by their US-based Cyber Heroes support team. Get a free 30-day trial and learn more about how ThreatLocker can help prevent ransomware and ensure compliance. Visit threatlocker.com. Every single episode of the Daily Cyber Threat Brief, including this one, episode 876, is worth half a CPE. Say what's up in chat. Look at the Chiron. It's about to say episode 876, half a CPE. Grab a screenshot. Make sure that you get the title of the YouTube channel where it says Cyber News Now, May 13th. All of these little bits and pieces is how you have the evidence to support the argument that you are getting a CPE. To nerd it out and make this show feel less cool, this is an instructor-led webinar. I am faculty at the Citadel Military College. I have 20 years of experience. I have a PhD in cyber operations. I don't know everything, but I know enough to be able to deliver a half a CPE webinar, okay? So grab a screenshot, say what's up. Dennis Keefe knows what's cracking, Augusta Delgado. Grab a screenshot and friggin' file it away, and once a year, count the screenshots, divide by 2, as easy as that, all right? If today is your first episode, I'm going to put a foot up on it. If today's your first episode, welcome to the party, pal. Drop a hashtag first timer in chat. Hashtag first timer on chat. Oh, Space Tacos is injured. Space Tacos sending you good vibes. Guys, hey, if today is your first episode, drop a hashtag first timer in chat. I love saying hello to the first timers, plus all of the people who have the badges and the colored names. They are going to be dropping John McClane emotes on your face, welcoming you to the party, pal. So hashtag first timer. All right, guys, we're going to get right into it. But first, a quick read from Barricade Cyber. Guys, listen, is your Microsoft 365 environment secure? With business email compromise attacks on the rise, your entire operation could be at risk. Fortify 365 from Barricade Cyber Solutions is your defensive shield. Harden your M365 environment. Their team of experts implements proven security standards to protect your business from cyber threats, ensure compliance so your GRC mafia people can high five, and safeguard your sensitive data. They've helped countless organizations strengthen their M365 defenses with tailored solutions that address real-world vulnerabilities. I also want to point out they have hardened environments that I have been responsible for, so I've worked with Barricade Cyber to do this service. They didn't have it named Fortified 365 at the time, but it's the same service. And it was excellent. Eric knows his stuff. Believe that. Don't wait until after a breach to take action. Visit fortify365.com today to learn how they can secure your Microsoft 365 environment against tomorrow's threats. All right, yo, we're off and running. Briar Nell, thank you. Hey, by the way, squad members, I do want to say thank you for tagging the first timers when they say it, because I can't watch chat fully. But when I see someone like Devin Grady or Mondo Avila or Sierra Montgomery saying at, and then I see the John McClane, it lets me know that Briar Nelson, welcome to the party, pal. Definitely appreciate it, guys. It's a team sport doing this podcast. All right, let's go, y'all. Sit back, relax, and let's let the cool sounds of the hot news wash over us in an awesome way.
Does not mean you shouldn't start
hold
making
on.
plans for Friday.
Hold on. You know, there's I should really make like a checklist. There's like literally like 35 steps to getting this show prepped, and sometimes I miss step 17, which is taking the podcast and then moving it into my playlist and then putting it so it smoothly follows the music from the intro segments. So forgive me. All right, cool sounds, hot news, spicy. Let's go.
From the CISO series, it's cybersecurity headlines.
These are the cybersecurity headlines for Tuesday, May 13th, 2025. I'm Rich Straffolino. Global Crossing Airlines Group confirms cyber attack. According to a filing with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, the airline, also known as Global X, suffered a cyber attack on May 5th, 2025. The attackers accessed systems supporting portions of his business applications. Over the weekend, the attackers contacted 404 Media, allegedly offering information about Global Crossing's ICE deportation flights, including flight records and passenger lists. The airline said the attack did not disrupt operations and would not create a material effect on its finances.
All right. So a couple things here. Number one, 404 Media is reporting on this. I love 404 Media, okay? I love 404 Media. I'm coming out. It's Tidbits Tuesday. I love my wife. I love my kids. I love 404 Media. A very cool news outlet and investigative journalism, okay? So basically, this airline company has been contracted by the U.S. government to run deportation flights. Again, not a political show, so we're keeping it on cyber, but if you're not aware, we have an international community here. So in the United States, there's a lot going on with deporting people. And someone's got to do it, right? You know, like with these deportation flights, I guess they could just buy a bunch of like Delta flights tickets and put people on planes, but they're contracting out. Like when a sports team goes to Omaha to play in, or Sioux City, Iowa to play in the ECHL, and they rent a bus or whatever. So this company, publicly traded, which is why they have to report to the SEC, which is now a law, gets cyber attacked. Okay, so what's the lesson here? A couple things. Number one, when we think about threat actor motivations, right? When you get technical and you think about the cyber kill chain, right? There's like recon, and then choosing the weapon, then delivery, exploitation, persistence, lateral movement, exploitation, command and control, and then, actions on objectives, whatever. Like, yes, that's the kill chain, but you need to think about who's the operator doing the kill chain, or operators doing the kill chain, and what is their motivation, what is their incentive. Oftentimes when we see ransomware, which I point to this, like by default, I think ransomware, this is not a ransomware attack. You think, okay, financially motivated cyber criminals trying to get paid, bulletproof hosting. They're in countries that don't do extradition to the United States, so they're safe. Sometimes it's nation state threat actors, Russia knocking out Ukraine's telecommunications for military advantage. Sometimes it's some junior engineer who's making a mistake, misconfigures BGP and knocks out half of Saudi Arabia, whatever. This right here, another one that is pretty popular and gets highlighted during more contentious, divisive times, is hacktivism. Now, hacktivism is where the threat actor is ideologically motivated in order to push an agenda or revolt in some way against an opposing party. Anonymous is a hacker collective that we've seen in the past do this type of thing. Even North Korea, when Sony Pictures released the Interview movie, which was basically a movie about assassinating the leader of North Korea, and they took down Sony Pictures, while that was a nation-state level threat actor, it was a hacktivism. That particular attack was more hacktivism and ideologically motivated, right? So in this instance, I have to imagine these deportation flights is at the root of why somebody or some group is pissed and wanting to disrupt and cause harm to these particular systems, okay? Again, this doesn't look like a ransomware attack. This looks like somebody got in and was trying to get information on the system and potentially... Oh, actually, holy crap. So it says the hackers identified themselves as Anonymous, which is the hacker collective I mentioned earlier. We'll see what their end goal is. I mean, it's not, it's one thing to just hack in. It's another to like take action on objective, get the intel, do something with it, disrupt operations, stop flights from happening potentially, whatever it is. I will tell you two things. One, with Anonymous as a hacker collective, anyone can say they're anonymous, right? Like that was part of the shtick with Anonymous or Legion, is that they're this nebulous collective of individuals. They're not like a ransomware threat actor group that has like really well-defined members like a gang or a syndicate. So that's one thing about this. Second of all, the second thing I would say is, and this is a hot take, okay? So get your tinfoil hats, everybody. And first timers, tinfoil hat really quickly is this thing. Given the current climate and the current demonstrated decisions from the current administration, I would have to imagine that a lot of federal resources will be committed to uncovering this particular, who's behind this particular attack. That's just a speculative hot take. I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but just it seems like this would be something that might rise to the level of attention of people in power who want to demonstrate that you shouldn't do this, okay? All right, hey, really quickly, I do want to say I saw some more first-timers in here. Chris Windmeyer, hold on one second. Dan Reardon, a.k.a. the Haircut Fish. Chris Windmeyer, welcome to the party, pal. We've got a little bonus meme in here. Chris Windmeyer, let's see. Open up Spotify, find the podcast. Okay, here we go.
Google settles privacy lawsuits. Back in 2022, attorneys general for Texas, Indiana, Washington State, and the District of Columbia filed lawsuits against Google, alleging that the search giant made it virtually impossible to opt out of location tracking. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton followed this with an October 2022 lawsuit alleging Google collected biometric data without consent. Google settled both cases, agreeing to pay a combined $1.375 billion and admitting no liability. The company also said it updated its products and practices to resolve the concerns brought in the lawsuits. Meta paid out a similar settlement to Texas for collecting biometric information back in July.
All right, a couple things here. One, I always find it personally gross that you can just like pay your way out of these things and not have to admit liability. Like, it's stupid. The fact that you would pay $1.3 billion in fines, but we're not at fault here. We're not guilty. We didn't do anything. We're just going to give you $1.3 billion to go away. The fact that like in our current system, you can, if you have enough money, you can just buy it out. This almost makes you think of way back in the day. Again, I'm not like some theologist or even like super religious person or well versed in this, but like way back in the day in the Catholic Church, like you used to be able to like buy like vouchers for committing sin. I know I'm oversimplifying this, but like you could just be a deplorable person, and then like if you make a donation to the church, like thumbs up, you're good. Like that. I mean, obviously that was a dark period in the church's history, but like this is like kind of a modern version of that. All right, so Google tracking people, not making them able to opt out of it. Definitely harvesting that data and doing something with it that has something to do with making money.
Straight cash, homie.
And then paying a $1.3 billion settlement. Okay, so a couple things here. Number one, this is a privacy-related issue. Privacy, if you didn't know, definitely has a Venn diagram intersection with cybersecurity. Cybersecurity professionals are not wholly focused on privacy. Privacy is its own animal. With other things that honestly cybersecurity people don't care about, right? And I hate to be flippant, but like in the world of cybersecurity, I don't like from an IT perspective, IT and cyber overlay, but like I don't care about performance. That's an IT thing, right? Is it secure? That's what I care about. Is it resilient? That's what I care about. Is it performing? Does it when you click, does it happen immediately? That's not my concern. With privacy, Is the data confidential? Is it protected? Is access controlled? Those are the things I care about, and the privacy people care about too. But like, do you have the ability to opt out? Can you request these things? Can you request to have data edited and corrected? I don't care about that, okay? The privacy frameworks are pretty well defined. If you're interested in getting into privacy, I want to say there's like seven like controls around privacy. I spent a hot minute trying to almost become a chief privacy officer. If I'm being honest with myself, I spent that time trying to get out of a bad situation, and I ended up not getting the job. Although I will tell you, in the interview, this is the dumbest thing. I mean, this is dumb, but also like, I guess I was being confident. But in the interview, they're like, where do you see yourself where do you see yourself taking this privacy program? And I'm like, I mean, really, I'll build it up in 18 months, and then 6 months I'll set it on autopilot, and then I'll probably go get another job. Like, I basically told them I was going to quit in 2 years. And for those reasons, they were out. That's okay. That's okay. Anyways, guess what? If you live in Texas, like DJ BSEC, H-Town, B-Dubs, many of you are down in Texas, Cary, you may be entitled to some of this straight cash, homie. Chances are a bunch of lawyers are going to get hundreds of millions of dollars, and me, you, and big techs are all going to get like a check for $1.85. Thank you very much.
UK launches software security guidelines. The UK's National Cybersecurity Centre and Department for Science, Innovation and Technology published a voluntary software security code of practice last week. This code includes 14 principles across the themes like secure design and development, build environment, deployment and maintenance, and customer communication. This largely echoes CISA's Secure by Design principles in the US. At launch, the program is entirely voluntary and has no regulatory oversight, but the NCSC could adopt a certification program based on the standards in the future.
All right. UK security guidelines, reshaping software development. Okay, a lot of software dev is not great. Now, for those who don't know, excuse me, I went to undergrad in 98 to 2002, 2003, got a computer science degree, and I came out of university thinking the only thing I could do was be a software engineer, and I went and did that, right? So I did come up in software. The reason I found cybersecurity is because my software sucked from a security perspective. And in my defense, the client did not request any security features. You don't build things the client doesn't request. You build what the client asks for because you're just trying to churn over software and get that straight cash, homie, and move on to the next thing. So essentially, obviously with SaaS solutions, cloud, open source software, like, we're getting more and more dependent on software, right? Obviously. And people are writing more and more kind of crap software. So having these guidelines is awesome. Worth looking at. If you want to be an application security professional, I would totally check this out. If you are working in a DevOps environment, CI/CD pipelines, definitely worth checking out. I would have to imagine that these guidelines do look at DevOps practices, since DevOps is more of the modern environment that you will find. This practice actually has 14 principles across 4 themes: design and development, build environment, deployment, and maintenance. Guys, like, basically look at this. This is the CI, okay? This is the CI, continuous integration. This is the CD, continuous deployment, okay? And they're talking about doing it securely. So, like, straight up, and then communication with customers. This is like, this is like a governance thing. Like, this is the ribbon that gets wrapped around the package. This is more of the engineering piece, and this is more of the, dare I say, the GRC piece. Let's go, GRC. Where's my GRC Mafia at? Definitely check this out. If you are interested, I do want to tell you one other thing. I'm going to be doing more work with her. Tanya Janka, her right here, She Hacks Purple. She is kind of like the application security go-to, right? So if you think of GRC and you think of me, when you think app security, you should think of her. I'm actually was emailing her last night. We're actually going to do some collaborations together. I'm going to have her on Simply Cyber Firesides to talk about application security. She's cool. So if you're interested, I'll drop a link to this as well. If you're interested in AppSec, go check her out. And like I said, if you don't check her out, that's okay, because she's going to be doing some stuff with Simply Cyber in the next couple months. I just got to get my stuff straightened out. It's been busy, y'all.
Suspect arrested for Dutch ransomware attacks. Moldovan authorities arrested.
David, but the pain, instead of casually Joseph, we've got professionally Joseph. I love it. Very funny. Very nice.
A 45-year-old man allegedly involved in ransomware attacks against Dutch companies back in 2021. These attacks include one against the Netherlands Organization for Scientific Research, which caused 4.5 million euros in damage and was tied to the Doppelpaymer group. Police say the suspect is internationally wanted for blackmail and money laundering and other cybercrime-related cases. Moldovan authorities began extraditing the individual to the Netherlands for trial.
Oh, hey, Jess Bishop's here. What's up, Jess? Also, Jess Bishop, I know you just got here, but I hope you heard it. I'm actually going to be doing work with Tanya here in the next couple months. We actually multiple collaborations. So anyways, all right. So Moldova, if you don't know, I only know this because of stupid reasons, but like Moldova is like this tiny country, super cool. It's in the Mediterranean, I'm pretty sure. And I think it allows dual, like you could basically, if you want citizenship to Moldova, you just stroke a check. They are not, you don't have to learn the national anthem and stuff like that. My understanding is you can just stroke a check and boom, you are a Moldovan citizen. So this guy gets arrested, running ransomware attacks, money laundering. This guy's a professional criminal, okay? He's sitting on $93,000 cash. You know how much Keno you can play for $93,000? This guy's definitely bumping it down at Muldoon Saloon up in Taunton. Okay, all right, so this guy was just running. Like, this sounds like a pretty standard. Anytime you hear of like a law enforcement seizure of threat actors, it's always like laptops, USB sticks, phones. Let's give a little love to the Dutch police, y'all. That's right. All right. Dude, I'll tell you what, guys. I've like in passing heard of Doppelpaymer ransomware, only because I remember thinking Doppelganger, which used to be like a boss magic card back in the 90s when I was like really into it. But this doesn't, as far as I know, this isn't like a top tier ransomware threat actor. Eric Taylor, who's going to be bringing the jaw jack in action at the top of the hour, may have more insight. He does go to the dances that the ransomware threat actors also attend, so he might have more insight in this. But I've told you guys this before, and I'll say it until I'm dead. The only way to like curb stomp this type of cyber criminal behavior is to get the threat actors, the humans, arrested, right? Like if you dismantle infrastructure, you're just kicking the can down the road. If you arrest the people behind it, if you take out the brain trust, then you have real impact, okay? So yeah, look at this, dude. I mean, this is just a roundup. Polish police took out a denial of service for hire. We actually covered that in the Daily Cyber Threat Brief some time ago. But yeah, the Netherlands are going to be getting some extradition action going on. So for you, really quick chat. I need a fact check. Is Netherlands count as Scandinavia? Let me know. Let me know if Netherlands count as Scandinavia. Let's go.
And now, thanks to our sponsor for today, Vanta.
Ugh.
Do you know the status of your compliance controls right now? Like, right now? We know that real-time visibility is critical for security, but when it comes to our GRC programs, we rely on point-in-time checks. But more than 9,000 companies have continuous visibility into their controls with Vanta. Vanta brings automation to evidence collection across over 35 frameworks like SOC 2 and ISO 27001. They also centralize key workflows like policies, access reviews, and reporting, and helps you get your security questionnaires done 5 times faster with AI. Now that's a new way to GRC. Get started at vanta.com/headlines. That's VANTA.com/headlines.
All right. Okay. Two things. One, thank you everybody in chat for letting me know that the Dutch are too far south to be considered Scandinavia. I will say that I've met some Dutch people and they seem to embody Scandinavian ideals. Hey, also really quick, I just want to emotionally prepare everybody that we will be getting away from the "Don't You Forget About Me." So I will be playing it. This is kind of the like the Derek Jeter final season. You know what I mean? Like this is the victory lap. All right. All right, y'all. Hey, holla, 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 holla. Thank you all so very much for being here. I want to say thank you to the stream sponsors. We heard from Barricade Cyber and their 4to5365.com tooling. Antisyphon and John Strand's getting started with InfoSec and Black Hill and MITRE training. We heard from Threat Locker dropping bombs on app security. Let me also tell you about Flare Academy. Look at this. I'm so organized. I don't know if you guys care about this, but like I put a folder on my desk now for just the ad reads, so my desk is less of a mess. All right, guys, check it out. All right, yo. Now, Flare.io brings cyber threat intelligence to you. It's a wicked awesome platform. I've made a video on the channel. I've used their platform. I love it. But did you know that they also have what they call Flare Academy, which is trainings, free trainings that they bring to you, as well as a Discord community. Really quickly, Priceless Pancake with the super chat. Thanks, Priceless Pancake. Did you hear Nordic countries are putting barcodes on all their ships to make them easier to track at port? The Scandinavian. Oh my God. Somebody get James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet on the phone, please. Okay. Have you ever wondered what separates the best cyber pros from everyone else? I'll let you in on a secret. It's not just what you know, it's who you're learning from. You can learn from industry experts on their specific niches, things that you will not learn in a textbook at Flare Academy. They give you incredible value. You get direct access to the cybersecurity researchers after their talks through their exclusive Discord. This is essentially like attending a live in-person talk where the speaker gives their presentation, and then you bum rush to the stage afterwards and you get your questions answered. That's what Flare is doing. I love this. I want to call your attention to this. On June 4th, so just a few weeks away, you can learn about ransomware ecosystem. Dude, we talk about all these different ransomware threat actors, Doppelpayer, Conti, Lockbit, all these things. But what is actually going on? How is their ecosystem working? How are they using Telegram? How are they dropping things? Where is their public leak sites versus their private? We see Eric Taylor dropping things all the time too. If you want, you can go to Flare Academy and actually learn in a 2-hour webinar for $0 all about this ransomware ecosystem, and then you can follow up with the instructor afterwards in their community for live Q&A. Go check it out, flare.io/trainings, link in the description below. All right, every single day of the week has a special segment, and Tuesdays is Tidbits Tuesday, y'all, where I share a little bit about me and give you, see if we vibe on it. Now, one thing that I want everyone to know is that right now, and this is pretty fringe, but right now is the Stanley Cup playoffs, and I got to tell you, I don't really talk about NHL hockey. I am a Boston Bruins fan, but guys, the NHL playoffs is undeniably and unequivocally, I will fight you on this one, the best competitive sport there is. Not hockey in general, but NHL playoffs. Dude, I watched a game last night. Unbelievable. Okay, like Florida versus, I can't even remember who it was now. Florida versus is it Montreal? I mean not Montreal, Washington. Dude, NHL playoff hockey is unbelievably entertaining. It's awesome. The game I watched last night looked like it was 1991. The way that they were playing competitive, the goalie was doing all sorts of shenanigans. Skill level at an unbelievable level. Just awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. If you like NHL playoffs, holler at me. It's so good. And if you don't know NHL playoffs, just pick any game. You can literally watch Winnipeg versus, Montreal or Edmonton versus Florida. It doesn't matter. Any game is good. Alpha Sierra is going to lead us off. Let's get our la 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 la's on. Let's go. So good. Dude, Alex Ovechkin scored a goal last night that was literally a masterclass in a power play slap shot from the top of the point, which is like his like standard, signature shot, but it was so good. All right, let's go, guys. Let's finish strong. Yes? All right.
Hacktivist attacks hide the real threat. Over the past several weeks, several hacktivist groups claimed over 100 successful attacks against prominent targets in India, including the Election Commission of India, the National Informatics Center, and the Prime Minister's office. However, an investigation by CloudSec found that most of these attacks seemed largely symbolic, with DDoSes that led to barely noticed downtime, website defacings that lasted mere minutes, and supposedly exfiltrated data made up mostly of public data. These attacks appeared mostly hyped by Pakistan-linked accounts on X, which linked them to supposed ongoing operations. The researchers instead say organizations should be on the lookout for attacks from the Pakistan-linked APT-36, which launched a sophisticated phishing campaign against Indian government targets. These use emotionally charged lures to deploy Crimson Rat using malicious PDFs and PowerPoint attachments.
All right, so a couple things. I love the NHL talk. Kane is a Bruins fan, so like right there, I love the Bruins. Cam's also a Bruins fan. Love it, love it, love it. I just want to address really quick. EK Burger Picards is a Minnesota Wild fan. Guys, if you're a Minnesota sports fan, I feel for you. The Vikings, it's like the Vikings are tough. They let you feel good and then they punch you in the mouth. Your hockey is tough. The fact that the Stars got taken away from you, I'm sorry. Dude, Minnesota, great people, tough sports, tough. All right, so hacktivist attacks. We were already talking about hacktivists with Anonymous attacking the airline that's doing the deportation flights. Looks like, let's see, India's getting slammed, right, with over 100 breaches across government, education, critical. That is quite the uptick. Jesus criminy, you're getting going here. Let's see. I've never even heard of these activist groups. Nation of Saviors, Cal Eggy 319, Silent Gang SG. This is why we can say flaming donkey and it not be outrageous. Like, oh, have you heard of the ransomware threat actor groups?
We are Nation of Savers. We are Flaming Donkey.
It can work, okay? Now, apparently these individuals, these groups are causing much more sizzle, not a lot of steak, if you will, right? A lot of noise, a lot of bark, but not a lot of bite. You insert your favorite metaphor if you want here. Yeah, I mean, okay, so they claim 247 gigs of data exfilled, and in reality it was 1.5 gigabytes, whatever. What's the real story here? All right, so there's an APT-36 group. I don't know who APT-36 is, like APT-41, APT-29. These are more of the common ones that you hear about. Since I don't know APT-36, I'm going to go to MITRE ATT&CK really quickly. I'm going to go into search, and I'm going to put in APT-36. And if you don't know what MITRE ATT&CK is, Well, first of all, it's a phenomenal resource. And second of all, you can learn from John Strand this week for free what MITRE ATT&CK is and how to utilize it. But I'm going to go ahead and use it really quickly to look at APT36. Come on, computer. Why is it saying no results? This is bogus. Hold on one second. I'm going to do it the long way. APT36. Okay. So APT36 is Transparent Tribe, Copper Fieldstone, Mythic Leopard, Project M, a Pakistan-based threat group that's been active since 2013, targeting diplomatic, defense, and research organizations in India and Afghanistan. Okay. So this all tracks. This is why MITRE ATT&CK's good. Guys, I don't defend, secure, do GRC work for foreign countries, okay? I've always worked in the United States. Well, I've traveled, but like my clients, my businesses, my orgs, they're always in the U.S. A little bit of dabbling in Europe, but for the most part, I'm not dealing with this Iran, Pakistan, India, South Africa type situations. If you are dealing with those things, this would be where you could get some of that information on what to do. Now, there isn't a lot of information here. You can see their TTPs if you're interested, which is how they're doing the attribution on this. And what are we doing? Yeah, this is just nation state on nation state action. So I don't know what to tell you. If you're a nation state, if you're responsible for protecting a government system that's, at the federal level, I hope to God you're funded well and you have the access to the resources you should. Looking for if a threat actor is sophisticated enough, has enough time, they will get in. That's why they're an advanced persistent threat, not a nascent persistent. No one's like, oh, have you heard of the nascent persistent threat 22? They threw a bunch of USB drives in the parking lot. No, advanced persistent threat, or you're just a threat. Okay.
Physical security company discloses data breach. Andy Frayne provides physical security services to venues, businesses, and airports. In a notice to Maine's Attorney General, the firm disclosed that it had discovered a cyber attack in October 2024, impacting over 100,000 people. The ransomware group Black Basta previously took credit for the attack back in November, claiming to have stolen about 750 gigabytes of data. No word on what data was stolen, but the firm is offering victims up to 24 months of credit and identity monitoring. No word if Andy Frayne paid a ransom. Since the attack, Black Basta has mostly gone dark, seemingly over internal conflicts.
Oh, Black Basta! You having some internal strife, huh? If I had to guess, it's money related, right?
Straight cash, homie.
Anyways, this is good news for us. Black Basta is kind of a tier S cyber threat actor. Okay, so if they're we dodged a bullet when Conti ransomware threat actor group imploded. If Black Basta is going to implode, let's go. I'll take some of that. So I've never heard of this Andy Frayne. If you're me, if you're like me, if you're old, you hear Andy Frayne and you immediately think of Andy Dufresne, the same man who crawled through 2 miles of filth and muck and emerged on the other side a free man. Dude, Morgan Freeman's narration is next level good. Oh, such a good movie. If you don't know Shawshank Redemption, Gen Alpha, or, Gen Z, does Gen Z even know Shawshank? This is worth your time. All right, so Andy Frayne gets hit. Physical security company. The good news is, the bad news is that they got hit. The good news is that Black Basta is imploding, so they're not necessarily going to get too banged up. If you get 2 years of identity theft protection, like when I hear, I'm sorry, allow me an opportunity to just go off for a second, okay? When I hear you get 2 years of identity theft protection, what I think in my inner mind monologue is, stick your head out the window, yay, throw it on the tire fire. Like, more identity theft protection. It doesn't scale. You don't get more identity theft protection with more identity theft protection. And I get that they're doing their, they're doing the playbook of what you're supposed to do because not everybody's going to have identity theft protection, but I feel like most people do. So what is the actual value here. What do they get? What do they get here? They got accounting, HR, legal departments. Okay, so this is a physical security company that does security at sports arenas, universities, events, etc. It doesn't matter. It's a business. It's a business that has personal information, PII on employees, HR, information, financials. They stole all that. We'll see. Honestly, this is a milquetoast ransomware attack. You got hit. I hope that this company has good cyber resiliency, which means they're able to continue delivering mission critical services and making that sweet, sweet cash.
Straight cash, homie.
During their downtime. And as always, I would encourage everybody to make sure you're doing tabletop exercises. Make sure you have immutable backups. Make sure you have EDR solutions that detonate when malware detonates. Make sure that you're, if you can, privileged access management, if you can, network segmentation. There's a lot of controls. You can get lost in NIST 853, the telephone book of security controls, but some controls are more effective at helping reduce the likelihood and the impact of a ransomware attack. So get your GRC risk matrix out and drive your car all the way down to the lower left corner where it's nice and green and put those controls in place. Let's go.
IoT devices turned into proxy for rent service. Researchers at Lumen's Black Lotus Labs worked with the US DOJ, FBI, and Dutch National Police to track a campaign based out of Turkey that targeted Internet of Things and end-of-life SOHO devices to create a botnet. The network spread to over 80 countries, with most botnet devices based in the US, Ecuador, and Canada. The operators claimed the network contained over 7,000 active proxies per day, but researchers found this number inflated and was actually closer to about 1,000. The operators sold out network access for ad fraud, DDoS attacks, and credential stuffing. Lumen worked with law enforcement to disrupt the network by routing traffic through its backbone.
All right. This is going to turn into like old man yells at cloud, okay? 7,000 active proxies daily, which is what the threat actors claim, which makes sense. Okay, I just started like in the middle of the story. Like I just took a bite of the middle of the sandwich instead of like eating from the edge. Threat actor group is compromising IoT devices, which are IP-enabled internet devices that typically run stripped-down operating systems, so there isn't a lot of security or visibility into those devices, taking them over and then making them basically bots or zombies or whatever, controlled agents, so they can weaponize them by sending out some type of command that'll sequentially push out to all of the compromised assets to do something like do a denial of service attack on this IP address, or help proliferate ad fraud or fake like clicks or whatever, or views and stuff like that, right? A bunch of different things. You have a bunch of assets and you can weaponize them however you want. Now, how can this happen? Mirai botnet is a seminal example of how you can compromise IoT devices quite quickly, quite easily. Go look it up. Mirai, Mirai botnet. Now, even though that's from like 2014, 2015, it's still relevant today because people keep manipulating or updating Mirai. I don't know how these threat actors did it, but remember, they're selling a service on the dark web that does this. So, me and Casually Joseph, me and Professionally Joseph want to start a little criminal syndicate, or we're just looking to like knock Justin Gold's website off the internet, right? Justin Gold's trying to spin up some type of like crypto WordPress site, and we just knock it over, okay? Instead of us compromising a bunch of assets and then attacking, we can just buy that, right? So this guy's selling this service, which is why they're overinflating their numbers, right? Oh, we have 7,000 active endpoints. And in reality, they only have 1,000. Welcome to marketing and sales. Second of all, dude, you're overinflating by saying you have 7,000 endpoints. Mirai botnet says, hold my beer. At its peak, Mirai had like 500,000 to 600,000 endpoints compromised. Dude, you've got 1,000. I'm not saying that's not nothing, but like, come on. It's like Matthew McConaughey is starting to bang his chest talking about rookie numbers with your 1,000 compromised IoT devices. Like get back to me when you crest six figures. Final thing I want to point out is, and this is tangential, but totally going to make people feel seen. Okay. In the world of cybersecurity, okay, and this is true across other agencies, but in the world of cybersecurity, where I've lived for 20 years, I've seen it firsthand. The marketing of this illegal service says they have 7,000 going. 7,000, and in reality, they have 1,000. Let me let you in on a real secret that you will absolutely never hear in any other webinar or a textbook or a classroom or anywhere. You'll hear people say it at the bar to each other. Dude, all the time, salespeople will oversell the crap out of something, and then you've got to deliver on it. Oh, it can do this, it can do that. That's on our roadmap. Dude, that's another thing salespeople say. Oh, that's on our roadmap next quarter. Anything you want. Does it ingest cloud logs? Next quarter it will. Does it have passkey integration? Next quarter, it's on the roadmap. Do you support federated authentication, single sign-on? Let me check. It does. Next quarter, it's on the roadmap. Dude, salespeople, you got to remember, how are they motivated? By making sales, they make straight cash, homie. How do they make sales? Convincing you to make a purchase. So it happens all the time where the salespeople overinflate or oversell or just straight up don't know what they're talking about. All right. So, hey, if you've got any stories, obviously don't dox anything. But dude, I'm telling you, yeah, just there's a customer portal for suggestions. Go ahead and drop that in there, dude. So many MDR providers, oh yeah, no, we can do that. Oh, we can do that. We can do that. Okay.
Responses to DNS blocking orders. Torrent freaks Ernesto Vandersar put together a look at how DNS resolvers like OpenDNS, Google, and Cloudflare responded to orders from EU courts to block DNS queries tied to piracy. In response to blockage orders in France and Belgium, Cisco's OpenDNS left those markets entirely. Cloudflare, meanwhile, maintained that it did not block content going through its public 1.1.1.1 DNS resolver, but instead identified alternate mechanisms to comply with relevant court orders. Court-ordered sites now show an HTTP 451 error as a result. Google's DNS resolver simply refuses the DNS query entirely, not linking to the lookup of any IP address. This doesn't give any context for why the lookup failed, and also appears to go against the advice of the Belgian court, which required a redirect to an explanation for the block.
Wow. Okay. So this is kind of interesting. So DNS, domain naming service, right? When you type in simplycyber.io, it resolves using DNS to the IP address of the web server hosting simplycyber.io. Okay. That's what DNS is. Okay. Now, there's only a few DNS providers, right? I mean, we all, if by default your ISP is your DNS resolver, but honestly, your ISP is probably reaching up into Google. Google is got a massive footprint for DNS or DNS serving. But Cloudflare is another one, OpenDNS, Quad9s, right? You can have different DNS resolvers that provide out of the box protection from resolving known malicious sites, known adult websites. In fact, I'll just tell you really quickly, just as a quick pro tip for everybody. I want to say, gosh, hold on. I'll tell you, I set it up a while ago. Who is it? It's Cloudflare. So I personally use Cloudflare for DNS resolution, and you can set this on your you can set this on your on the individual endpoints if you want, but really you should set it either in your your DNS server on your network or your DJ BSEC has a video for that. DJ BSEC, link the video and I'll drop it right here. Anyways, I have young children, and by young, they're young, but they're old enough to have computers, and they're boys. So, there's the occasional, wandering off the path. How did I ever get here? So by using resolution that automatically stops, inappropriate adult sites from resolving, that can, be done. But the question is it appropriate to block those sites? Like I worked at a medical university that did not block adult sites from being resolved. And the argument was, InfoSec, firewalls, we're not the police, okay? We're not here to decide what content is appropriate or not appropriate to serve. IT's job is to serve it. And honestly, there was actually appropriate uses for having that information provided. But anyways, in this instance, they're blocking pirated sites. And part of the argument is, why? What, are you the police? Are you saying that you shouldn't do this? And, it starts getting a little murky. For me, I like it. I'm glad they're blocking it, right? Obviously, as someone who produces content like the education at Simply Cyber's Academy, and knowing that my courses are on pirated websites right now, thank you. Super happy, sarcastically stating that my academies are pirated. So I'm down with this. The interesting thing I want to take just before we pivot here is error code 451. Hey, you talk about a blast from the obscure world. Now, if you don't know what HTTP status codes are, there are actually quite a few, and they're quite informative. Many of us are familiar with HTTP 200, okay, or HTTP 404, web service unavailable. The first number indicates the group of HTTP status codes that it was. So 400 is something wrong with the server. I want to say 300 has to do with like the that's like where redirects go and stuff. So I think 300 is like movement, right? 200 is like positive related codes. I think 500 means there's something wrong with the client. Anyways, HTTP status codes are kind of fun. You don't have to know them in order to work in cybersecurity, but I mean, it's kind of fun. Okay, look right here. And if anyone has a reason to know the status codes, let me know. But look, yeah, you can see right here. One, if it starts with a 1, it's informational. 2 is success. 3 is redirection, which would be that like transition. 4 is client, and 5 is server side. So when you get a 404 error, the actual error is client side, which is interesting because it's usually because the server isn't responding. 501's another one. But anyways, yeah, so 400 bad request, 401 unauthorized. You see a lot of these when you're doing web application pen testing. But some of these you never really see. 402 payment required. I've never seen that. 403 forbidden. I've seen that. There's the classic 404, right? And then, yeah, just some other obscure ones. It's worth kind of digging in there just for your own personal gain. Like 410 gone. I also want to let you know, here, let me scroll down to 451. Legal. Oh, wait, they don't even, yeah, unavailable for legal reasons. Now, just because it's 400 to 499 doesn't mean there's 99 codes for all of these. It does lend itself for growth. The final thing I'll say is, while these information status codes are interesting, it's these obscure flags and these obscure situations where you can find new research and new security interests. Just saying, right? So, like, everybody knows 404, but maybe you look at, I guess, I mean, this is a terrible one, but like TCP has 8 flags, right? Maybe you could screw around with that. Like, people hide stuff in the headers and whatnot. Really quickly, just as a fun, quick little aside before we leave, 418 is literally I'm a teapot. Okay, if you didn't know this, you can submit an RFC to get an update to these codes and stuff. And someone actually did set this. The HTTP 418 I'm a teapot indicates that the server refuses to brew coffee because it's permanently a teapot. This was an April Fool's joke in 1998 for the RFCs. And yeah, it got put in. Yeah, see, RFC 2324, the coffee URI scheme. So don't say that cybersecurity people aren't hilarious. This is a legit status code. All right. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. All right, let's cook. I said let's cook. All right, everybody. Holla, 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 holla. I hope you enjoyed the crap out of this show. Oh, hold on. I missed a super chat. Let me see. Chuck Sapp with a squad membership. Thanks for those in Tampa. B-Sides. Oh, there's a Team SC meeting following B-Sides Tampa. That's awesome. I do want to let everybody know also that if you go to simplycyber.io, this is actually, we implemented this yesterday. Chris Whitlock is behind this, but if you go to simplycyber.io and you scroll down, check this new feature out. This right here is Simply Cyber Locals. So there's lots of people in our community, and there's ambassadors who have taken on the responsibility of kind of being their local areas kind of lead. Chuck Sapp, looks like he's there. Look, you can scroll right in on here, and here's the Tampa contingent. Boink. And there it is, Chuck Brew, at Chuck Brew. You can see him in chat right now. So you can connect with him about what's going on in Tampa and with their B-Sides coming up. People like Daniel Lowry is in that area. Kimberly McKnight. There's other people in that space. But if you live in any of these areas and you're looking to throw down with some other Simply Cyber community members, go to the simplycyber.io, scroll down and check it out. You can see right here, Detroit, the Marcus Kylers of the world making it happen as the ambassador. Again, genuine appreciation and thank you to all the people who have volunteered to be ambassadors and kind of help run these community local meetups. It's awesome. Really quick, I just want to continue to scan. Eric Taylor said I had a super chat and I missed it, so I apologize for that. Let me look really quickly. I don't know where it is. I'm back already all the way to 8:40. I scrolled back as far as I could to 8:42 a.m. and don't see a super chat. So, hey, if I missed a super chat, I am genuinely sorry. I always do try to catch those. But stay tuned, everybody, because we've got Jawjacking coming up hot, hot, hot. Eric Taylor, my friend, is going to be answering all your questions and more in Jawjacking. This is episode 876. I am your host, Dr. Gerald Auger. Thank you so very much to all the Dutch people who I thought was Scandinavian. My apologies. Enjoy the NHL playoffs, everybody. And until next time, stay secure. Yeah. Ever wonder what it takes to break into cybersecurity? Join us every weekday for Jawjacking, where industry experts answer your burning questions about the cybersecurity field. Live, unfiltered, and totally free. Let's level up together. It's time for some Jawjacking.
What's going on? Hope everybody is doing well. Got some music going already for us. This is your first time joining. My name is Eric Taylor, Chief Forensic Operator at Barricade Cyber, aka when thanks to the fan, I'm one of those people that you call. Yep, Jerry, we chat. If you're new, definitely put in, if you got a question you want to ask, just so you know, Jerry Auger is more of a 30,000 foot person. I am still very much a hands-on keyboard, very much in the wheel. So I'm willing to get a lot more technical than a lot of people are, or what than Jerry's able to, just because I have the technical know-how and I'm in the trenches, right? We want to hear Shaggy. Chuck, I can't do Shaggy because that will probably take down the entire stream, but it wasn't me. Mr. Boombastic. Grew up on that. If you have any questions, make sure you put a Q and a colon into chat so that way I can see you and answer your question. What's going on, Miss Jess Bishop? Good to see you. It's been a while. Oh, do I want to talk about Doppelpayer? So, the story earlier about Doppelpayer, they were a pretty prolific threat actor group. They mostly worked off of RDP. They had their own Tor Onion site. Hit 250 some odd organizations back in 2020 and 2021, and then kind of shut down. We think because of the payload that was being used, we did see some correlation between going from Doppelpayer to Grieve or Hive, and then onto Royal ransomware. So that was kind of the transition that we've seen in our CTI. Nope, Carrie, I do not have the headset on. I am, as you can tell, in a remote location. Looking very down. Got a bunch of meetings today. I am pimping it out on the complete West Coast today. Let's see. Jerry's being nice and pinning some questions up here. So thank y'all so much for putting them in here. From Kyle, have you ever butt heads with users? Oh God, here we go. I recently went over their head to their boss to resolve an issue. Yeah, sometimes you've got to do that, Kyle. You know, and the way you communicate with the senior staff is going to be very key if you get retaliatory from the users that you were reporting the issue to. I grew up in a generation where I have no problem nuking and paving the entire planet to get what, the quote phrase, move heaven and earth to get what you need done. Mine is nuke the entire planet, nuke and pave, turn it all into glass, whatever. The politically correct way to make sure you're getting something done is when you're going to senior management and say, hey, boss, I've got an issue I need your help with. And say, hey, I've told Bob and John about this particular issue 6 different times over the past 3 weeks, and I'm not getting any traction. Can you advise me what to do next to get this problem handled? So if you go in there posing it as a question that you need advice on what to do, 9 times out of 10, it'll be received a lot better. Instead of everybody just going completely unhinged. Where are you today, sir? I am in California. I've been here less than 24 hours. Now I'm already seeing some very weird, interesting stuff. Like, what the fudge? Can you tell us a fun technical story you've heard lately? I'm thinking the only stories that I'm coming up with, I'm not allowed to speak about publicly. Or I don't know if I'm allowed to speak about them publicly. And there's not enough. The stories that I've heard are so specific. Like, I can't even obfuscate the people or the company enough to potentially remove doubt of who I'm talking about. I'll think on that one. See if anything comes up. I missed your last webinar. Is there recording for there? So if you're talking about the 3065 phishing page, man in the middle detection, that had to be canceled. Microsoft has made some changes to their login portal, so it's changed. I've got to change up the code for it to work. And Microsoft on their YouTube actually put out notifications about all their anti-phishing techniques and stuff like that. So injecting custom CSS is not working the way it's supposed to for that notification. So it's not affecting all tenants. Only the newer tenants that are being created, they're affecting. And of course, I stand up a new tenant just for the testing. It still works on my tenant, but it's an older. So as Microsoft is, a big, massive global organization, not every tenant receives an update at the same time. It is a rolling phased upgrade for all the tenants. So I am working on it. I'm hoping to have it rescheduled within the next 2 weeks. It's a problem that I need to have be addressed, because we have clients that we put through Fortify that will soon lose this notification if I don't get this fixed. So it's on there. Are there any dark web monitoring courses, books, trainings you recommend for increasing skills? Unfortunately not, Sean. Unfortunately not. I do not recommend anybody going on the dark web unless they absolutely have to be on there. And if you have to be on there, you kind of know where you're going and what you're doing, or you have an internal advisor in the organization or your school that's teaching you to do that. When I tell you, you can mistype a letter and see completely stuff that you should not see and can never get out of your head for the rest of your life because it's on the dark web. I'm not kidding. Unless you're supposed to be on there, please do yourself a favor and don't go there. How much training studying do you think someone should do a day? I don't know an answer to that question, but you should be. Like, so in my, I'm old, I'm getting gray in the beard, right? I've been around the block at least 1,000 times, it feels like sometimes. But I'm always researching new TTPs. I'm always researching this or researching what this threat actor group is doing. So whether you call it training, studying, or what I call research, to make sure I'm staying up to date, it's a daily thing. Even in, like, let's say you're in IT, you're an MSP. There's new technologies, new companies, new ways of doing things that are coming up all the time, not just cybersecurity, that you need to stay up to date on. Microsoft's changing stuff all the time. They're changing their portals around how to get here, how to get there, what new features are being added. There's always something to learn, always something to learn. So always be in a constant state of learning. Do what? What's going on? What am I missing? Yeah, over here in the West Coast today, or at least till Thursday, I think. Let me log into my flight app. I'm pretty sure I fly out on Thursday. Yep, Thursday. Now, one thing always messes me up when you're on the travel apps, like especially when you do time zone changes, like so I keep my phone, my iWatch, and my laptop all on Eastern Standard Time. It's a giant pain in the butt because you're waking up really, really early, but I find that helps me prevent jet lag, especially when you're driving time zone. I just got to remember plus or minus so much, but I'm doing that all the time anyway, especially when doing logs, because we always go to UTC time frame for any of our logs. So I'm used to, deducting 4 or 5 hours or whatever the case is. But is the departure time, let's say I'm leaving out at 9, is that East Coast time or West Coast time? And it's always the time's on your hand, but it always makes you stop and think for a minute. The mods are yelling at me, just know that, of course, I am traveling. So I don't have Discord, so. Scorched Earth, that's right. All right, let me try to do a search here. I do have a little bit of time, not a whole lot, ladies and gentlemen. I do have some meetings to get to. Yeah, Renard, yeah, like I said, it was canceled, unfortunately. It's on my immediate radar to get back up and running again. I've got so many projects and stuff that I'm working through right now. It is absolutely insane. What are your thoughts on the impacts of AI? I think that CrowdStrike literally just did layoffs related to AI. I don't know if CrowdStrike did it because of AI. I know there was a monetary value to get to like 10 billion in revenue or something like that, so they were cutting the fat. There is something to be said about layoffs, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen. Like, and this is what I talked about, a week or two ago, where you need to be the company of me incorporated, right? And I went through a whole tyrant on that. But no job is ever safe or secure. None, unfortunately. And, it is part of business when you start looking at user efficiency. Like, let's say you have a department of 20 people. Is all 20 people being at least 70 or 80% utilized throughout the day? No, then you probably have too many people in that department. You need to lay off a couple and cut the fat. And that will increase your revenue because fewer people are being more productive because, they have more work to do instead of it being spread out. Does that potentially cause staffing issues if you have an influx? Yeah, but again, it's a business decision, unfortunately. So, but to your question about AI, it is definitely impacting. We here at Bearcat, we're not using a lot of AI. I do use a ton of Grok when I want to do some real quick research across a lot of different websites real quick and give me pros and cons from all of it. So literally like in Grok, and I found Grok to be the best one. Your one may be different, but like my first line in there is like, you're only performing research for me. And then next line I put topic, let's just say high ransomware, Lockbit, pick your ransomware group. And then the next line down there, I need research on all the clients that they have hit, what has been their average payments that's been required, that's been reported, I need pros and cons to this scenario and that scenario. And like, it will go and parse through like 50, 60 websites and pull that in, because I'm telling it to do research and I need pros and cons from other analysis that have already been conducted. It'll get, and I put at the bottom, you must provide the link so that way I can go and fact check it, right? But I mean, I come across sites I've never even heard of before. I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. I'm getting intel from sites I never even knew about, right? So it's cool. It's a really good research for me to get brought up to speed on some items that I may have forgot or never knew. So, so what may have taken me 2 or 3 hours and not even known about half the sites that Grok indexed, I was able to have it digest in 10, 15 minutes, right? Because again, I'm having to do research, so it's not going to spit out a quick answer for me. So it does a deep search, it does the thinking, and then it gets me the answers, and it's good, right? One second. All right. See, I mean, is AI going to make a change? Yeah. Right. And I made this case before where you've got organizations and you got people that are just completely ingesting everything into AI. So the one thing that was scary, geez, it was about a month ago. I was at a local coffee shop back home and seen some med students in one of the coffee shops, and they were all using ChatGPT. And I just like, hey, just out of curiosity, like, how far along are you? And they're in their residency, so they're doctors, but they're not doctor yet. Like, they're in that probationary period before they get turned loose to be, a full-fledged doctor type of thing. And I was like, oh, I hope you don't mind me asking, but I've seen that they're using AI. Can I ask, what do you do with AI to help you out with your stuff? And it's like, oh, well, we're writing thesis papers, and we're doing this and doing that. And I'm like, oh my God, like, is it where the medical industry is not going to know proper things now because they're not doing their own legitimate research? They're literally having an AI perform the research and write the paper. It makes me scared. The Cyberlarian, 4 or 5 years in the field, 3+ of those in cyber, and I'm considering an offer to go under one director and build a SecOps with a growing company, or stay where I'm at but lack lead and senior role. Are you happy? I mean, if you're making a decent wage and you're happy, do you really need to change? Things to consider. Grass is not always greener on the other side, ladies and gentlemen. This is something to consider. I'm not saying don't do it, but consider it. Any evidence collection, automation stories, and issues to counter. So there is one that happened last week, and it fought me for about 5 minutes until I remembered what the hell was going on. So those that are familiar with OneDrive, you have offline file. So, if you don't use a file, if you set it up, you don't use a file in 30, 90, 180 days, whatever your threshold is, it moves it to the cloud. But you have a link, an LNK, a link file. So it's still there, and it's got an archive link to the OneDrive or SharePoint link, so that way you can be able to quickly download it again to open it, right? And was doing an investigation, and there was 3 PDFs that I needed to strongly look at, and I couldn't do it. And I forgot because looks like a cop just whipped around, is about to pull somebody over. But I forgot that we couldn't download it because we had a system error, because the EDR runs as a system, and you cannot invoke a download from a user's OneDrive or SharePoint account when you're running a system. And that actually goes back to the other thing. With the new Windows 11 24H2, is it? Yeah, 24H2. There's a way to set it up now that even if you're a system administrator, you cannot look at the files in a user's OneDrive on the local workstation. You're going to have to do it from the 365 tenancy. You're going to have to do federated access to get into it and kind of go at it from that way. So it's going to impede a little bit of forensic gathering, but anyway. I have some PTSD from some of the crap I've seen, for sure. I'm assuming, Steve Young, you're referring to the dark web? Carrie with the lion of Qs. Holy McMoley, dude. I am trying to get a computer to use Windows to try and work from home. Eric, are there any companies that use Linux to work from home, since I run Linux as my daily driver? But I don't know. I honestly don't know at all. I'm sure there are. I mean, Daniel Lowry, I think, runs a distro of Linux as his daily driver, and he works at Antisyphon. So, is it an acceptable application for businesses? Yeah. Widespread? I don't know. Like, most of the people now, most organizations, well, like when you're getting hired on, they'll send you either their preferred device that you're going to use, or they'll give you an option, and it's either a Windows or a MacBook Pro. And Jamp, I forget how you pronounce it. It has a protect model as well now, and I mean, you can really lock down some Macs to do what you needed to do now, where you couldn't before. So I don't know, Gary, to be honest with you. What are some of your favorite metrics and visuals to show executives? I don't show metrics because I don't really know how to do a metric for what we do. Hooray, we monitored X amount of whatever. They don't care. We have monthly calls with most of our clients, depending on their engagement with us. But we're in constant communication with our clients. Like most of our clients, we use Signal for, and we have group chats and things of that nature. So, think of your SOC, right? They're going to ping you when they see an alert. That's what we're doing on our IR incident response retainer. We deploy an EDR. We monitor. We have all of our custom additions and queries that we monitor on top of it. It is an incident response retainer, responding to potential incidents inside of our clients, and we're asking questions. Like even this morning, there was a new manufacturer that we are our EDR is getting installed on. It had some problems before, but I think the EDR and the manufacturer kind of got some stuff worked out or whatever. So that was good. I wasn't privy to that information, but we started seeing a new administrator account in my feed this morning that was starting to creep in on successful logins. And I was like, man, that's a new user that I'm seeing across multiple CIDs. So I raised a flag. I'm like, hey, is this new? And he was like, oh yeah, it's this other manufacturer that we're using, and it's their standard, log username and stuff. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So I mean, like, we're raising up those flags, right? Like, hey, question, got a query here. Something's caught my eye. So I mean, this is what we do, right? So, I'm building out a dashboard in our EDR. I mean, the EDR vendor gave us a good template, and I've modified it a good bit, and I'm modifying it some more so we can have a more global look at things. But yeah, I may share that with, I don't know, but most of them have access to the EDR tenant, right? We talk about stuff and we just hash things out. So I don't think to answer your question, if you're having communication with your clients, Kyle, is there really a need for metrics when they see that you're busy working and monitoring your environment or their environment? I mean, you may want to bring up like key things like, hey, we had a really good month. Thanks everybody for, chipping in on, this particular incident that we detected. I really appreciate, Bob and Jan coming forward and, really helping us, understanding that situation. And thankfully it was a false positive and we were able to move forward. Bringing up some key things throughout the month may be a good idea. Giving the kudos to your client, for, because it is a partnership, right? So maybe that's something to consider. One thing to always ask, I'm just telling you how I run my damn business now. Here we go. But the one thing I always ask people before, parting ways is like, hey, do you have anything coming up, on your roadmap over the next 30, 45 days that we should be aware about or you want to talk about? Or you may have some questions about that we can lead some insight into. So, it can help preface you, like, so you don't get blindsided. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is, I do believe, yep, I do have to get ready for a meeting. Yeah. But yeah, it's full on. Here, I'll let you in on hold on a second. Hold on. So, yep, rare and inform. Y'all guys don't normally see me like this, but this is how the other half of me lives. Having very professional meetings with very professional people. I can't all be liquid napalm. It looks like I did not get some of the questions. I will be back Thursday, so please be back or answer your questions or ask your questions on Thursday. And Angular, I do have Discord. I just don't have it with me when I travel. It's literally only on my work computer or my work desktop. So my laptop, my cell phone, I don't have Discord on it. What do I think about unions? I think they're a dinosaur these days. But I have a very biased opinion on unions. They were good for a time. I think they've long outlived their usefulness. So, all right. Don't be scared. What the heck am I gonna be scared about? Just kind of checking. Is there any last job interview? No. Getting more work interview. Yeah. Tacos beat. So anyway, yep. Y'all, ladies and gentlemen, take care of yourselves. This is professional Eric Taylor signing off. Get out there, try to enjoy the rest of y'all's day, ladies and gentlemen, and I will see you crazy, lovable people on Thursday. Take care, my friends.
There once was a kid whose passwords laid across all sites. They were the same, a criminal, then found their fame by taking that data to go. Soon may a criminal come to steal your pictures and data and run. One day when the crime is done, they'll steal your...
Hey everybody, I hope you enjoyed that content. Keep the cybersecurity train going by connecting with the other Simply Cyber community resources. We have the Discord server that's lively and always keeps the conversation going. You can connect with me directly on LinkedIn. And also every single weekday morning on the Simply Cyber channel, we're doing live daily cyber threat briefings, 8 a.m. Eastern time, as well as Thursday at 4:30 p.m. We're doing live stream interviews with industry experts, and we produce videos that we push out every Wednesday morning. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. I hope you enjoyed the content, and we'll see you in the next one.